What if I told you that your thoughts might not just be in your head? That every single spark in your brain could be connected to the entire universe, right now? Sounds crazy, right? But this is exactly what the quantum consciousness theory dares to suggest, that your mind might be part of something much bigger, something cosmic. Before we jump into the quantum side of things, let's start with something you've probably experienced: overthinking. You know, lying in bed at 2 a.m., replaying a conversation you had 3 years ago, or stressing about a future that hasn't even happened yet. Psychologists describe overthinking as excessive rumination, basically your brain going into overdrive, looping thoughts like a broken record. From a purely psychological perspective, overthinking happens because your brain is wired to solve problems, and it doesn't always know when to stop. But what if I told you that your habit of overthinking might not just be a mental glitch? It could be something deeply connected to the universe itself. Here's where things get interesting. The quantum consciousness theory, explored by researchers like physicist Sir Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff, suggests that consciousness doesn't just live in your brain. Instead, it's the result of quantum processes happening inside your neurons, specifically in microscopic structures called microtubules. Now, quantum processes are weird. We're talking about particles existing in multiple places at once, instant communication across distances, and probabilities instead of certainties. The theory says that your brain might tap into these quantum phenomena, meaning your thoughts could be influenced by, or even connected to, the fabric of the universe. Think about it. What if the reason you sometimes get gut feelings or flashes of creativity out of nowhere is because your mind is literally syncing with a universal field of information? From this perspective, overthinking isn't just your brain running wild. It might be your consciousness searching the network of the universe for answers. Ever had a moment where you thought of a friend and they texted you out of the blue? Or solved a problem in your sleep without actively working on it? Some people dismiss these as coincidences, but the quantum mind theory says there might be more going on. It's like your brain is a Wi-Fi receiver. Sometimes the signal is crystal clear, other times it's static. Artists, inventors, even athletes often talk about being in the zone, a mental state where ideas just flow effortlessly. If the quantum theory holds up, these moments could be times when your consciousness is perfectly aligned with the larger universal network. Now, whether or not your brain is literally plugged into the cosmos, one thing's for sure: overthinking drains your mental energy. Here are 3 quick tips to break the loop. 1. Ground yourself in the present. Use the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. 5 things you see, 4 things you feel, 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, 1 thing you taste. It snaps your brain back into the now. 2. Scheduled thinking time. Give yourself a daily 10 to 15-minute window to overthink as much as you want. Weirdly enough, this limits how much it spills into the rest of your day. 3. Mental decluttering. Write your thoughts down. Once they're on paper, your brain stops holding on to them like unpaid rent. And here's the twist. If quantum consciousness is real, clearing mental clutter might actually strengthen your connection to those big, universal insights. We still don't know for sure if the quantum consciousness theory is fact or just a beautiful idea. But maybe that's the point. Maybe you and I are not just thinking in our heads. Maybe we're thinking with the universe. So here's my challenge for you. Tonight, when your thoughts start racing, instead of fighting them, ask yourself, is this just my brain, or am I tuning into something far bigger? Because as physicist Erwin Schrödinger once said, the total number of minds in the universe is 1. The rest is just the illusion of being separate.